What made 20th Century Fox one of the most iconic studios in Hollywood history? From its groundbreaking beginnings to its legendary films, and even its eventual acquisition by Disney, this studio has left an unforgettable mark on the world of cinema. In this video, we'll explore the rise and fall of 20th Century Fox, uncovering the stories behind its greatest successes and biggest challenges. Whether it's the Golden Age classics or the blockbuster hits, 20th Century Fox's legacy is still felt today. Let's take a closer look at how this cinematic giant shaped the entertainment industry and why its influence endures. The birth of a giant. You know how some partnerships just seem meant to be? That's exactly how it was when 20th Century Fox came to life in 1935. It all started with the merger of 20th Century Pictures and Fox Film Corporation, a move that brought together the creative genius of Darryl F. Zanuck and the financial smarts of Joseph Schenck. This was more than just a business deal. It was the birth of a Hollywood giant. Right from the start, 20th Century Fox hit the ground running, churning out hit after hit. They weren't just making movies, they were shaping the future of cinema. With Zanuck's innovative ideas and Schenck's ability to back them up, the studio quickly made a name for itself. Audiences couldn't get enough, and before long, 20th Century Fox was one of the biggest players in Hollywood. This wasn't just luck. It was the result of bringing together two powerhouses who knew how to make magic on the big screen. And that magic helped 20th Century Fox become a force to be reckoned with, setting the stage for a legacy that would last for decades. Golden Age glory. Imagine a time when going to the movies was the highlight of everyone's week. That's what it was like during Hollywood's Golden Age, and 20th Century Fox was right at the heart of it all. This was the era where the studio produced some of the most unforgettable films ever made. Movies like The Grapes of Wrath, All About Eve, and The Sound of Music weren't just popular, they were legendary. These films didn't just entertain, they left a mark on cinema that would last for generations. What made 20th Century Fox stand out during this golden era was their knack for creating movies that were both critically acclaimed and box office hits. They had a way of telling stories that resonated with audiences and critics alike. It wasn't just about the star-studded casts, though they certainly had those, but about the quality and substance of the films they produced. This period really put 20th Century Fox on the map as a leading studio, one that knew how to deliver high-quality productions that people couldn't wait to see. It was a time when the studio's name became synonymous with excellence in filmmaking, innovation, and expansion. Ever wonder how movies went from square screens to the widescreen epics we see today? Well, you can thank 20th Century Fox for that. They weren't just focused on making movies. They were also pushing the boundaries of what cinema could be. Back in the 1950s, Fox played a huge role in developing CinemaScope, a groundbreaking widescreen format that completely changed the way people experienced films. Suddenly, movies weren't just stories, they were grand, visual spectacles. With CinemaScope, Fox was able to create films that were bigger, bolder, and more visually stunning than anything audiences had seen before. Movies like The Robe and Cleopatra weren't just films, they were events. People flocked to theaters to be amazed by the grandeur and detail that CinemaScope made possible. This wasn't just a small tweak. It was a revolution in filmmaking that made the big screen even bigger. Fox's commitment to innovation didn't just make their movies look great. It set them apart as a studio that was always thinking ahead, always looking for ways to make the cinematic experience more immersive and exciting for audiences everywhere. Financial turbulence. You know how even the biggest success stories can hit some rough patches. That's exactly what happened with 20th Century Fox. Despite all the blockbuster hits and cinematic innovations, the studio wasn't immune to financial troubles. One of the biggest bumps in the road came with the production of Cleopatra in 1963. What was supposed to be a grand epic turned into a money pit, with costs spiraling out of control. The film was so expensive that it almost pushed the studio into bankruptcy. This financial disaster led to a shake-up in the studio's management and forced Fox to rethink how they operated. It was a harsh reminder that the film industry is as risky as it is glamorous. Balancing big artistic ambitions with financial reality is no easy feat, and for Fox, the price of Cleopatra was a lesson learned the hard way. The struggles that followed showed just how fragile even the biggest players in Hollywood can be. It was a turbulent time, and the studio had to work hard to regain its footing, proving that in the world of movies, nothing is ever guaranteed. The blockbuster era. Remember when going to the movies meant seeing something that everyone would be talking about for weeks? That's what 20th Century Fox mastered during the blockbuster era. In the late 20th century, the studio hit stride by embracing the blockbuster model, cranking out films that weren't just popular, they were global sensations. Think about it: Star Wars, Die Hard, and Titanic. These weren't just movies, they were cultural events. Fox understood the power of big-budget, high-concept films that could draw in huge audiences. They didn't just aim to make a profit, they aimed to dominate the box office. And they did, time and time again. Star Wars alone became a phenomenon that reshaped the entire movie industry, setting the standard for what a blockbuster could be. Then came Die Hard, which turned the action genre on its head, and Titanic, which sailed into history as one of the highest-grossing films of all time. This era solidified 20th Century Fox as a studio that knew how to deliver big, crowd-pleasing films that could captivate audiences around the world. It was a golden age of blockbusters, and Fox was right at the center of it all. The Disney acquisition. It's like when your favorite local store suddenly becomes part of a huge chain. Everything changes, but you can't help feeling nostalgic for what used to be. That's how it felt in 2019, when the Walt Disney Company made headlines by acquiring 21st Century Fox, including the legendary 20th Century Fox. This wasn't just another business deal. It was the end of an era. The iconic studio that had been a Hollywood giant for decades was rebranded as 20th Century Studios. For Disney, this merger was a strategic move to expand its content library and gain an even stronger foothold in the fiercely competitive streaming market. With more content under its belt, Disney aimed to dominate not just the box office, but also our living rooms through Disney+. But for fans of 20th Century Fox, it was a bittersweet moment, a reminder that the entertainment landscape was changing, and that the days of 20th Century Fox as an independent powerhouse were now part of Hollywood history. Legacy and influence. Even though 20th Century Fox has been rebranded and lost its independence, its legacy is far from forgotten. It's like hearing a familiar tune that takes you back to another time. Just a few notes of that iconic fanfare, and you're instantly reminded of Hollywood's golden days. The studio's impact on cinema is undeniable, from pioneering technological advancements like CinemaScope to producing films that have become timeless classics. Fox wasn't just another studio, it was a trailblazer that set the bar high for the entire industry. Movies like The Sound of Music, Star Wars, and Titanic didn't just entertain. They shaped the way films are made and experienced. Even today, the influence of 20th Century Fox can be seen in how movies are crafted and how stories are told. The name may have changed, but the essence of what 20th Century Fox contributed to the world of entertainment remains. Its logo and fanfare still evoke a sense of nostalgia, reminding us of the lasting impact this studio had on cinema history. As we reflect on the incredible legacy of 20th Century Fox, it's clear that its impact on cinema will never fade. If you enjoyed this look back at one of Hollywood's greatest studios, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Money Mavens for more insights into the world of entertainment and beyond. Thanks for watching.